There's been a bunch of times where I've heard the explanation that our 3D brain can't understand all the explanations of higher consciousness, extraterrestrials, etc. And I've always thought, well, what do you mean? Why are you telling me I can't understand it? I won't be able to understand it. Try me. We'll see. And I realized that it's actually true. It's difficult, if not impossible, to understand because you can't understand something like everything is angles or everything is fragments, geometrical patterns. What? What do you mean? What do you mean an alien race is a geometrical pattern? How could that possibly be? What? That's exactly what you don't understand. Because you can't fathom what it's like to be at a higher level of consciousness because you just aren't. And those that meditate, those that go through psychedelic experiences, those that spend their lives devoting on trying to understand it still don't, because it's simply outside of your realm of possibility. Now, that doesn't go to say that we can't get close. So if I told you that high consciousness means angles, you're going to be like, what does that mean? How can I be an angle if I'm a person? Well, if you understand that you're not a person and you're just a soul experiencing this life as a human to learn lessons that you're supposed to learn, and what is fate, what is destiny, why do things keep happening the way they are, it's a simple explanation as to what you put out is what you get back. Now, what does that mean? What you put out is what you get back. Well, if you put out negativity, you'll get back negativity, and you kind of manifest your own thing there. But there are nudges that fate gives you along the way, so to speak, and that all that is just you. That's the one thing that I think I've gathered that is the most comprehensible thing, is that everything is just you. There are different forms of you, and they're all you, but it's you in a different state, like an angle or a geometrical pattern. So, how should I put this? You exist in a bunch of different realities. Millions, billions. It's infinite, actually, how many realities you exist in, because every decision you make splits you off into a different one. And everything is happening all at once, so you are not looking at video clips as they're moving past you. You know what I mean? You are not moving through time, so to speak. Time is moving through you. So basically what you're doing is you're jumping from one to another to another. And although it seems very smooth to you, it's really not. It's very fractal and very divided. And every decision you make aligns you to a different scenario. And your power, our power, is to be able to shift in these realities as we make these decisions. The power that we don't have, and that comes from doubt and uncertainty, is the power to decide which reality we move into. We do decide it, but we're not aware of this decision. It's not conscious. We're just doing it because we make decisions and we go along. Half of it, or most of it actually, is from what we've been taught, what real is and what real is not. But essentially speaking, those little nudges that you get from quote-unquote fate is just you. Because you exist in a bunch of different other realities. You exist right now as a bunch of humans on Earth as different humans. You also exist in a higher state of consciousness. So there's a part of you that's already moved on. You've already ascended. You've already transferred from being this 3D human thing to a angle or whatever the next state of consciousness is. And that higher state of you knows what's best for you and what's not best for you, and also knows what's not best for you because you have ascended. So it knows, or you know, what you need to learn and what you don't need to learn. Because the higher you does not live in this time linear thing. It lives in a space or a place or an experience where time is all happening at once. So in that sense, you know the present, past, and future without knowing it. That something that tells you to grab an umbrella because it's going to be raining is just a little bonus that the higher you tells yourself, because you already know. You already know to grab the umbrella because you've told yourself that it's going to rain today because everything is happening at once. So the only way for us to be able to help our future selves become our higher selves is to go along with positivity. The only thing that's quote-unquote bad, if you're going to deem anything as bad, is negativity. Doing stuff that's negative towards yourself and towards other people. Or doing stuff, and this is just as harmful, I guess, or detrimental to your existence, is doing stuff that you know is not from your heart. Meaning, like, if you do something nice for someone, expecting to get something back. Well, I'm going to pick up this lady's garbage can every day and move it to her, from her driveway into her house or close to her house, because one day when she passes away, maybe she'll give me some of her money. That's not really doing anything from the heart for the good of humanity. It's just doing something because you want a reward. That's just as good or just as bad as doing something negative. And believe it or not, it does all tie in with what I've been saying and what everyone's been saying. But it's just that everyone has a different way of explaining this, because everyone's different, obviously. So everyone has a different scenario, a different way of putting this out there. But essentially, at the end of the day, all you really need to know is do right. And like I've said before countless times, you don't need Jesus or God or Muhammad, whatever you want to call them. You don't need them to tell you what's right and what's wrong. You really don't. It's, you know what's right and what's wrong. And just do that. Do that for the good of yourself, for the sake of humanity. Do good and do the right thing when no one's looking is the best way I could phrase any of this.